Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, thank you for joining us today. Last week we introduced our series Love and Respect, and this week and the weeks to come we'll be talking about ways women can respect their husbands and then ways men can respect their wives.
Love your wives.
Love your wives. Sorry about that. But I'll be doing that by discussing some acronyms. For women, there's going to be chairs, and then for men, it's going to be couples. And today we'll be talking about one letter from the acronym. So the first letter in chairs is C, and couple is C as well. So his is going to be
Closeness.
And then mine is going to be Conquest. Yeah, so stay tuned as we bring you that discussion.
You took it, took away my loneliness, so I know it, you're making me wholehearted, together is always better.
Men are naturally born to achieve success, which is why we have the word conquest. So as women, we are supposed to appreciate the desire to work and achieve success. And men's desire to work can be referenced back to the Bible, Genesis 2 verse 15, where God gave Adam work to cultivate and keep the garden to achieve Adam's desires for success and solve problems. So as women, if we start to understand men's desire to work and achieve success, it's going to be a great step towards communicating respect and honor, two things that men usually value more than love. All right, so before I go into specifics on how to or things to do to show your spouse unconditional respect, I would like to make it clear again that men are naturally born to conquer, to solve problems. That is why if you see two men meet, so the first question they mostly ask is, what do you do? You know, and even if you have siblings or cousins at home, like young siblings, male to be specific, you see them like with toys or picking up sticks trying to build something because they want to solve a problem. Okay, so then that again tells that men are born to conquer, and as women we need to appreciate that and respect them for that fact. Yeah, so no matter how small your husband's work might be, remember that it is tied with his being to achieve something, so you have to respect that. So I'm certain as women, you will want your future son or your son to be treated very well by your future daughter-in-law. So make sure you use that same desire to support your husband and respect what he does. And I'm very certain the more you do that, the more loving he might be. And don't forget that you respecting him is actually you respecting God. All right, so some ways that you can show your husband unconditional respect is appreciating his desire to work and achieve. And you can do this by saying thank you for how hard he works. Don't just think it, but just say it. Because sometimes I do think about how hard Jesse is working, but I don't say it. Like I had an issue one time where my car skid in the snow, and the kind of work he does, he drives in the snow all the time. When it happened to me, I'm like, oh my goodness, Jesse is doing so good driving in the snow the whole day trying to work to cater for us. I thought about it, I'm like, but I didn't tell him, you know? So that is like thinking without saying. So make sure that you don't just think about how good your husband or how hard your husband is working without actually communicating it. Make sure you do communicate it. So you can do that either through text message or you can tell him verbally. Another way you can also do that is to listen to his work stories. When he comes back from work, ask him how work is or how work was, and make sure you genuinely listen to him. Okay, don't just ask him. Go deaf. No, listen to the story, and if there's any input you can give, make sure you do that. And another way is to make sure that you don't criticize his work. You know, some men can work so hard to the extent that they forget, like they get so involved in their work and they give you little attention. And when that is happening, you don't criticize him. Just let him know nicely that you appreciate the fact that he's working so hard to achieve things. And in doing that, if he is a man with a good heart, like I mentioned earlier, he will realize his mistakes and you guys can talk about things and solve it. And before you realize, he's loving you as much as you want him to love you. All right, guys, so that is it for how women can show respect to their husbands. And this is just some of it. There's a lot you can do. You can be very creative. Just is going to come in and he's going to talk about how men can show love to their spouse. So make sure you stay tuned for that too.
Hey fellas, so yeah, it's time for us to talk about a few things. So our acronym is COUPLE, so obviously we're going to focus on the C, and that is going to represent closeness. She wants to be close to you. So this isn't just something that, you know, we're just saying it randomly. I mean, this is some things that are like biblically like supported and represented. So if we go to Genesis 2:24 in the King James, so therefore the man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. In the Hebrew, to cleave or cleaving means to like become one flesh, to like hold on to and to draw close. So in that, they're really representing like you and your wife become like a unit. So if you're not like spending quality time with your wife, and you're not like investing in her, then it's gonna be really hard to find that closeness and give her that like reassurance and stability that she wants. And more backing up from the Bible. So Deuteronomy chapter 24 verse 5. If a man has recently married, he must not be sent to war or have any other duties laid on him. For 1 year he is to be free to stay at home and bring happiness to the wife he has married. So even in old biblical Israel times, when obviously they were very, you know, almost degrading or saw women as like lower class, they still knew that women needed closeness with their husbands. So they, freshly married men, they had a year to go raise their family, to build connection, build closeness. Yeah, just kind of emphasize that point again. Being with your wife and being close to her really shows that you do love her. You can communicate your love for her in that way. You can do it with like a simple touch, maybe a little smile, just spending time together and involving her in things you do or things around the house. Other ways, I mean, getting close and cuddling, watching TV, you guys can cook food together, yeah, you guys can take walks, you can read the Bible together, you guys can talk about your day, you know, ask how her day went and be really, you know, involved. Don't just shrug it off, or if she tells you about the work day later, don't be like, oh crap, I wasn't listening. So make sure you pay attention to your wife, it's always important. And seek to spend time with her in like an intimate way, but without really having sex in mind. Just open up and talk to her, you know, feelings. We have feelings, don't act like we don't. They have feelings that we know of, so just like let them get it out there, you know, comfort them and talk to them. Those are great ways to help your wife feel close to you. A few ways personally that we do it. So in the morning before we go back to, or before I go to work, I get ready. I usually come back to bed, lay with Pearl for a few minutes. I do help her cook a lot in the kitchen. So I'm always like grinding ginger, cutting onions. But I mean, we're there, we're doing it together, so it's really nice. I'm sure she appreciates the help. And
I do.
yeah, it's a lot of work. Save her little fingers from getting cut. Make sure to be focused and be trying to spend time with your wife. So that'll pretty much encompass the closeness for C in our acronym of COUPLE. Definitely we hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully maybe we give you a few simple ideas to kind of spark the relationship train.
Yeah.
Try these through the next week and see if you guys can tell any difference or any more like positivity in the marriage, and just if you guys feel more close to each other. So
Yeah. And if you guys have any question for us, you can just DM us on Instagram at JnP_Swirl, and also send us an email, which is in our description box below, and our comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Toodaloo.